Never miss twice. A simple rule that will change your life in the quiet moments of our lives, between the routines we follow and the promises we make to ourselves, lies a truth that often determines our success or failure, not in the grand plans we write, but in the tiny lapses we ignore. One of the most powerful, yet overlooked principles of long-term growth is the idea captured in a simple phrase, never miss twice. It may sound modest, even forgettable, but behind these three words lies a system for resilience, a formula for transformation, and a mindset that can carry you through the most challenging days of your life. The origin of this rule comes from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, a modern guidebook for behavior change. The book breaks down how small, repeated actions compound into remarkable results over time. But perhaps one of the most critical lessons in the entire book is this simple idea. It's okay to miss once. Just don't let it happen again. You see, in the world of habits, perfection is a myth. We all miss workouts. We all eat unhealthy meals. We all skip reading, journaling, praying, meditating, whatever our goals may be. Missing once is part of being human. It's natural. It's expected. What matters more than the slip itself is what we do next. Now, do we spiral into self-blame, or do we bounce back? Most people fall into the "I'll learn nothing" trap. They believe if they mess up once, they've ruined everything. One missed day turns into a missed week. One bad meal turns into a cheat month. One missed study session becomes dropping the entire course. It's the mentality of failure. It says, if I'm not perfect, then why try at all? But those who succeed in the long run don't think like this. They think in terms of patterns, not perfection. They understand that missing once is an event. Missing twice becomes a pattern. And if you allow that pattern to repeat, it becomes a habit, a bad one. But if you catch it early, if you stop the second miss, you protect your momentum. You preserve your identity. Let's take an example. Imagine you've committed to waking up early every day to exercise before work. You manage to do it 5 days in a row, and one morning your alarm rings, but you hit snooze. You're tired. Maybe you stayed up too late. You skipped the workout. You feel disappointed. But now comes the most important moment. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow, but today. The choice you make today will determine if this is just a missed day or the beginning of the end. If you apply the never miss twice rule, you acknowledge the failure, but you also recommit immediately. You say to yourself, okay, I missed once. That's fine. But I won't let it happen again. I'll get up tomorrow no matter what. When you do, you regain your power. You prove to yourself that one bad day doesn't define you. You make failure the exception, not the rule. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. James Clear teaches that success is not the result of one massive action, but the consequence of small actions repeated consistently over time. He says, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. The never miss twice rule is one of those systems. It's a fail-safe, a psychological safety net, a way to course correct before things spiral. Out of control, think of it like brushing your teeth. If you forget one night, your teeth won't fall out. But if you forget for a week, they start to decay. The same is true for every habit: fitness, learning, creativity, prayer, business. Missing once won't hurt you. But missing twice is dangerous because it's a signal that your priorities are slipping. Your identity is at risk. When we miss a habit once, it's often circumstantial. Life got busy. Something unexpected came up. But missing twice is usually a decision. It's when we start to rationalize, well, I already missed one day. What's one more? That's the voice of complacency. That's the seed of regression. But here's the good news. You're always one decision away from being back on track. Let me share a story. There was a man who struggled for years with overeating. He'd go on a diet, lose weight, then relapse. After one slip, every time he made progress, it would get undone with one binge, followed by days of guilt. Then he read Atomic Habits, and everything changed. He embraced the never miss twice rule. First time he broke his diet, he didn't spiral. Instead, he forgave himself and made sure the next meal was healthy. Over time, that single Shift helped him lose over 40 pounds and keep it off, not because he was perfect, because he was consistent. That's the power of this mindset. It's compassionate but accountable. It allows for grace but demands responsibility. And it's not just about fitness or food. It works for writing. Miss one day, it's fine. Write tomorrow. It works for prayer. Miss one salah, but don't miss the next. It works for business. Miss one day of marketing. Get back on it tomorrow, in fact. Let's take this into the realm of spirituality. For many people trying to build a relationship with Allah, guilt becomes a heavy burden. They miss Fajr once and feel like hypocrites. They stop reading Quran for a day and feel disconnected. But Islam is not a religion of despair. Allah says in the Quran, "And do not despair of the mercy of Allah." The Prophet said, "The best deeds are those done consistently, even if they are few." That's the never miss twice rule, spiritually speaking. Even if you fall, rise again. Even if you forget, remember. Don't wait for a perfect day. Just return, again and again. This rule is so powerful because it removes the weight of perfection. It teaches you to focus on showing up, not showing off. It reminds you that building a habit is not about being flawless, it's about being faithful. And the best part? It gets easier with time. Every time you bounce back from a miss, you strengthen your identity. You prove to yourself that you're not someone who quits. You build trust in your own consistency. Eventually, the habit becomes part of you. It's no longer a task you do. It's who you are. And all of that begins with the decision to never miss twice. Now let's talk about implementation. How do you make this rule work in real life? Step 1. Track your habits. Use a habit tracker, journal, app, or calendar. When you miss a day, mark it. Then ask yourself, what happened? Was it out of your control, or was it a decision? Step 2. Make it easy to get back on track. Don't wait for motivation. Have a plan. If you missed your workout, have a backup. A 5-minute stretch, a walk, a short session. The goal is to rebuild momentum, not to punish yourself. Step 3. Forgive fast, recommit faster. Guilt has its place, but don't let it turn into self-sabotage. Say to yourself, yes, I slipped, but I'm still the kind of person who shows up. Step 4. Use visual reminders. Put a note on your mirror. Never miss twice. Make it your phone wallpaper. Tattoo it on your mind. Step 5. Celebrate comebacks. When you recover from a missed day, reward yourself. Not with junk food or skipping again, but with self-respect. With reflection. Because here's the truth. The second day matters more than the first. The recovery matters more than the relapse. The return matters more than the fall. Remember, progress is not linear. You will have setbacks. You will feel tired, distracted, unmotivated. That's life. But your power lies in your response. And when you live by the never miss twice rule, your response is always strong. Now, imagine your life a year from now. Imagine if you started today, not with a perfect streak, not with massive change, but with a commitment. I may miss once, but I will never miss twice. What would your health look like? What would your relationships feel like? What would your spirituality become? What kind of person would you see in the mirror? The future is built not on giant steps, but on small recoveries, on everyday choices, on quiet courage, on the refusal to quit. So here's your challenge. Pick one habit. Just one. Something that matters to you. Reading, writing, praying, meditating, moving, creating, learning. Track it. Practice it. And every time you miss it, don't panic. Just return the next day. Do it again and again. You'll be amazed at who you become. Because success isn't about never falling. It's about rising faster than you fall. And that's the heart of never miss twice. And here's something truly remarkable. The never miss twice mindset. It doesn't just build habits, it builds character. It teaches you patience. It teaches you humility. It teaches you persistence. You stop being the person who needs everything to go perfectly. You stop being the person who only functions under ideal circumstances. You become the kind of person who shows up even when it's hard, even when it's messy, even when you don't feel like it. That is strength. That is power. That is freedom. Let's consider another real-world example, someone who wants to start journaling every night. The goal isn't to write an essay, it's to write something. But one night they're exhausted, they fall asleep without journaling. The next night, they remember the never miss twice rule. So they open the journal and write a single sentence. I missed yesterday, but I'm here now. That's it. But that one sentence is more powerful than 1,000 written on perfect days. Because that sentence carries resolve. It carries identity. And habits at their core are not just actions. They're votes for the type of person you want to become. Every time you wake up early. Even when it's just for 10 minutes, you're voting for becoming a disciplined person. Every time you choose water instead of soda, you're voting for becoming someone who values their health. Every time you pause to breathe instead of reacting with anger, you're voting for becoming someone in control of their emotions. And every time you come back after a slip, you're voting for someone who never gives up. That's the beautiful thing. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep casting votes. The world is full of people who start strong, but quit early. What separates the great from the average isn't talent, it's recovery. It's resilience. It's the quiet decision to return to the path again. And again, and over time, that path becomes your home. Let's go deeper sometimes. The miss isn't just a skipped habit. It's a bad decision. A poor reaction. A moment of weakness. Maybe you got angry and said something hurtful. Maybe you gossiped. Maybe you gave in to a temptation you promised to avoid. In those moments, it's easy to drown in shame. But even here, the never miss twice rule can rescue you. It's not just for habits, but for behavior. You remind yourself, that was not me at my best, but I won't let it define me. I'll make a better choice next time. It becomes your anchor, not just for productivity, but for integrity. There's a powerful verse in the Quran that echoes this mindset. Allah says, "Indeed, those who fear Allah, when an impulse touches them from Satan, they remember him, and at once they have insight." Surah Al-Araf 7-201, this is the essence of the never miss twice rule. It's not that the righteous never fall, they remember, and they return. That's what makes them righteous. And if we look at the lives of great people throughout history, leaders, scholars, reformers, thinkers, they were not perfect, but they were resilient. They didn't give up after one bad day, one public mistake, one failure. They dusted themselves off and came back stronger. Now here's the part most people don't talk about. This mindset doesn't just improve your habits, it improves your mental health. Because perfectionism is a heavy burden. It's exhausting to think. You have to get it right every day. It's demoralizing to think a single failure undoes all your progress, but when you adopt the never miss twice principle, you remove that burden. You start to breathe easier. You learn to forgive yourself faster. You start to love the process instead of obsessing over the results. You become more emotionally stable because you stop letting one bad day define your worth. You stop the spiral of self-sabotage and instead start a cycle of self-trust. And with self-trust comes confidence. Confidence that no matter how far you slip, you'll find your way back. Confidence that you don't need to be perfect to grow. Confidence that you're still on the path even if you took a detour. That's what this principle gives you. Stability. Not rigid control, but flexible consistency. And in a world that constantly throws distractions, setbacks, and stress at us, that stability is gold. Now let's talk about what to do when you do miss twice. Let's say it happens. You didn't mean for it to. But you missed your habit 2 days in a row. What then? Here's what you don't do. You don't say it's over. You don't fall into despair. You don't delete the app, abandon the journal, or throw away your calendar. What you do is respond with urgency. You say to yourself, okay, I've broken the rule. I won't let this become a trend. You reset immediately. You make the third day count. That's your bounce back day. In fact, many successful people use the idea of a bounce back ritual. It's a system they activate when they break their streak. It might be something simple. A 15-minute focus session to reset. A journal entry reflecting on what went wrong, a walk in nature to clear the mind and recommit. The ritual doesn't need to be big. It just needs to signal to your brain, we are not quitting. Because if the first miss was a fall, and the second was a stumble, the third is the moment you stand up again. And there's nothing more powerful than a person who refuses to stay down. Let's be honest. We live in a time where distraction is easier than ever, and self-discipline is harder than ever. But that's exactly why these tiny principles matter. They are the armor against chaos. It's a compass when you feel lost. So the next time you find yourself breaking a habit, skipping a routine, losing momentum, pause, breathe, and say, it's okay. I missed today, but I won't miss tomorrow. One more step, one more push, one more prayer, one more journal entry, one more act of kindness, one more refusal to give up. Because if you do that again and again, you win. Not overnight, not with fireworks, but with quiet, unstoppable consistency. And years from now, when people ask how you've built such a strong life, you'll smile and say, I just never missed twice. So let's bring everything back to one simple truth. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never falling. It's about learning how to return to the path faster, stronger and wiser each time. And that is what never missed twice truly means, because success in life, in habits, in spirituality, in relationships, it's never built by a flawless streak. It's built by the courage to show up again, even when you fail, even when you feel low, even when no one else sees your struggle, even when you don't believe in yourself fully yet. That's what separates those who dream from those who grow. Now, as we close, here are some final points to remember: simple, clear, and unforgettable. Missing once is not failure, it's feedback. Treat it as a signal, not a sentence. It's a reminder to recalibrate, not to quit. What you do after the slip matters more than the slip itself. The comeback is always more powerful than the fall. Miss once, recover immediately. Use the second day as your bounce back day. Make a promise. I won't miss twice. Then follow through. Build your identity one return at a time. Small habits done consistently will always beat grand plans done rarely. Don't underestimate the power of showing up, even if it's only for 5 minutes. Every recovery strengthens your identity. Each time you return, you reinforce, I'm the kind of person who doesn't give up. Create a system for getting back on track. Have a reset ritual, something you do when you stumble: a journal entry, a prayer, a short walk. Train your mind to respond, not to retreat. Be kind to yourself, but firm with your commitment. Self-compassion and discipline are not opposites. They work together to build resilience. Share this rule with someone else. Encourage someone you love to adopt the never miss twice rule. Together, you'll stay accountable and grow stronger. Now, I want you to pause, right now, wherever you are. Think of a habit you've been trying to build. Something small, something important, and make a commitment not to be perfect but to always return. Say it out loud if you can. I may miss once, but I'll never miss twice. Repeat it again. I may miss once, but I'll never miss twice.
That's your
power. That's your path. And that's how you change your life, one habit, one choice, one bounce back at a time. Because in the end, success doesn't belong to the perfect. It belongs to the persistent. And you, my friend, are persistent.